So we should probably set the tone.
There's a lot to set up here. I was just going to welcome everybody to the How to Be Unpopular podcast, the podcast that comes out 1 to 3 times a year, at least in this stretch of time.
Yeah.
We might have like a boom in like 2021 where we release 10 or 12. But I would say from last year, this year, probably next year and the year after, 1 to 3 times a year. We could beat that,
like a good prediction. Who knows?
But it will keep coming out.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe one will come out in every 2 years, but it'll mean more if it comes. But we're still here.
We out here.
It's your birthday today.
Yeah, it is.
How old are you, Todd?
36.
And we're on a different version of a skate trip. We're hoping, if everything goes to plan, to do 2 days in a row, but no overnight anywhere. We come back to Kamloops and then leave again. We're in a Ford Focus. Why are we in a Ford Focus?
A rental, because my car's in the shop. My car got smashed in a parking lot, so it's getting fixed right now.
And we were also having a really natural, good conversation.
Really?
And then I said, should we start recording? And now it's not going to be as natural for the first 10 to 15 minutes, probably. Who knows? Could get really natural. But I broke the conversation by saying we should record this. You can describe what it looks like outside right now.
Well, it's not promising. It's very rainy, gloomy. It's 8:45 in the morning. So hopefully we get some dry concrete today to skate on. But it's iffy. It's very iffy.
We're going anyway.
Yeah. Got to do it. It was really nice all week. And today it's rainy.
And I think we picked this date 6 months ago.
Yeah, long ass.
You got to plan this shit. You got to plan skate sessions. It was easier before when I didn't have a little person that I had to take care of. Todd could be like, let's skate at this time, and it was most usually I was able to, like 80 to 70% of the time. And now it's ninja scheduling, which is good though. It's a much different experience as to the mental game behind skating for me has increased 1,000,000 times, because your expectations to a session being far away can bite you, or it can be really good having that much distance.
You appreciate it a lot when it happens.
Yeah, but you also want to do so much, and sometimes it just might not happen.
Yep.
The most devastating one was the downtown session when I had the white Vem skates that didn't fit me very well, and I think I was really tired from the night before, and I hadn't had a session like that since, I don't know, maybe my early, like when you're in your early 20s and you're hungover or something, and you're just kind of going skating out of some strange sense of obligation to the culture, and you're not connected with it, like you haven't connected with skating. There's those weird sessions, like,
oh yeah, those weird sessions happen all the time. It's just that it's more devastating now because you only get to skate like once every couple weeks or whatever, so having a bad session is more difficult.
There's always going to be a good session though, eventually.
Yeah, always.
More often than not. I think my late 20s were very key in discovering how to connect with skating quicker, like in shorter bursts of time, be more productive for whatever that means. I was saying, I think before we recorded, that the videos, not in the grand scheme of life, making more inline skating videos isn't important to the world or the universe, but it's important to me.
Yeah, that's important to me.
So what? It's like a ritual, hey? That's the way I think of it. It's like the ritual of going on a trip and filming and skating, trick lists, picking songs, having trick ideas. It's still really addictive.
Really addictive. Yeah.
The intrinsic motivation and reward of doing it feels really good.
Because life is temporary. So what are you going to do before it's gone? And
Party?
Yeah, have fun. But skating and making videos gives you something that you can't really get from anything else.
Yeah, that's true.
You might get it if you're really into making music or other forms of art. But skating is making a skate video. The process of it is really interesting, and then obviously the end product. There's something really special in a skate video that gets expressed that doesn't get expressed in other things.
It's still the most fun world to create. There's so many fun factors to a skate video, and not just a rollerblading video, but I still love I watch skateboarding videos and ski videos. More like street skiing videos interest me more than like filmed at resorts and stuff. But
Yeah.
I guess that's the same as park and street. But like a street video filmed mostly on the streets, it's just so interesting.
So interesting, yeah. Because it's just like humans filming each other doing moves on their devices.
Yeah, that
Put to music. There's a sense of freedom, and it's not a movie. There doesn't need to be like a plot, a
that's the
storyline.
best part. Oh, people have
just
tried and it's not good. Not good.
Yeah, you don't need that shit. You don't need to have a story.
Can you imagine an alternate
It can be funny.
universe
It can
where
be
we're like-
funny.
where we're on this same car ride, and I'm saying like, yeah, we're gonna be trying something different for the next video. We got a story.
We got a story.
We got a movie
We're doing some
crew.
acting. What is that like? People don't feel secure enough in the skate video format. They're like, we have to take it to the next level. It's gonna be more like a movie.
I can't wait to do the Bang and Accidental Machines commentaries eventually, because Words and Brain for Gone, they were edited by Dustin Latimer. There was still some like experimental editing stuff, but it's like, here's the skating and here's how I want to put it together, and then all of a sudden you hand it over to Shane Coburn. Not that those videos are bad, but really, the skits and the acting and like the script writing, he was trying to project one of his interests onto a skate
Right.
video, and it just didn't. I remember it being entertaining at the time, but I wonder why that was. I guess he always had loose like philosophical concepts that he put onto things, but
Well, I think I think you said it. I think he was probably not as connected to the rollerblading aspect of it. And his interests were more like, I want to get into making movies, or maybe he's more interested in movies than he is in skate videos. So
I guess that started to come through.
yeah.
I'll never forget there's 2 times I felt depressed about skating after watching skate videos. One was, I think you were with Nima and we watched VG22. We watched VG20 something. And it was just really sad, and it didn't make me want to skate anymore. And Bang, though, definitely. I felt really weird after watching Bang. We drove to Vancouver to watch it. Like, we watched a premiere, and then we skated Plaza, and like the colors of the video and the feeling and you could feel skating was just this, I don't know, life support, or I don't know how to describe it. It's still a great video, but the mood of that video was really weird. Latimer's section's great.
It's a pretty dark video.
It is.
If you think about it.
Whoa, what was that?
Just past a pile of flesh on the road. Some pile of hair and flesh.
It's better when you can't identify if it's a dog or a cat. If it's just a pile of flesh, it's less. There's not as much empathy. It just looks like a pile of mud or something, just a different color. us on that sidetrack from, just that it's still important to do this.
Important to us.
That's the other thing about, I thought that, like, I was going through some very serious emotions on I was trying so hard last summer because I knew there was a possibility of having a kid like this year that I'm in right now, but the previous year I was obsessively trying to make as much stuff as I could, thinking that I would maybe cut some kind of cord or relation to that style of like obsessively making stuff and putting it out, which I have a little bit, because the way we're going to do this video is we're just letting it go for 2 years and then making something. But I remember I wanted so badly that trip that we went on with Stu and Colin and Leon and Danny. Like, I wanted that to be zone 2. Like, I was pushing so much stuff that didn't need to be pushed,
right,
because of a kid coming,
right.
And the weirdest emotions on that trip where I knew I was pushing it and I should have just been relaxing into like going on a skate trip and not filming, and then the pressure of wanting to make stuff. I just felt some kind of like ending of a cycle, and now this feels like fresh and new to not be making an edit every weekend or not be like forcing other people on projects, or this just feels so good.
Just take your time or something.
Yeah, which I wasn't last, but
Yeah.
I had a reason. Like I didn't know what it was gonna be like once you have a kid. I didn't know what my relation to skating and filming was gonna be.
Yeah.
Like, I was worried that that all of a sudden the kid comes out and you're like, oh, skating's not that, like skating and filming, that's so stupid now that I'm in charge of this person. But surprisingly, it stays important. It just stayed important.
Yeah.
Not to the extent of like, I'm sure there's some sweet deadbeat dads out there that think it's so important that they like haven't got a job and they're still like out filming a snowboarding video, or do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I'm just happy all of the structures were in place outside of making skating stuff.
Yeah. It is interesting. It's a constant struggle to have a healthy relationship with it.
With skating.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's been the biggest thing in the last 6 months. Oh, and kind of leading up to it too. Because I didn't know how I was going to feel after a baby came out. And I still, like, I know how I feel about that. But then you go back and forth like, is it weird that I care this much about this thing? Like, is it stupid that I care this much? No, it's not. Like, you go do it, and you feel so good, so refreshed.
Exactly.
Like, hey, it's not stupid.
Okay, it's not stupid.
Is there anything else I can do that's, like, simpler and not as painful if I, like, is there something I can access a little bit easier that I can do to get the same feeling? And then, nothing yet. Exercise and all, there's, like, pretty standard stuff that I like to do, but
yeah, I always ask myself, like, why am I so into this? Always.
I keep coming back to that. It's some kind of weird ritual, and then like you said, that you can't get the thing anywhere else.
Yeah.
But even the pressure leading up to, I don't know if it's that we played sports or I don't know, but the pressure that you can put on yourself to have a good skate. Sometimes it's only for 2 hours.
I think Carly said it really well once when she said it's a really high risk activity, and not she wasn't talking about the physical risks. She was talking about the risk of it not fulfilling what you want it to fulfill.
Oh yeah.
Because I've had some sessions where it has a paradoxical effect where I will get like really depressed from skating, and it's because like I have such a high expectation of it, and then that doesn't happen, and so I don't know if it's a disappointment, and I'm putting so much importance into this thing that doesn't happen for me. The best approach to skating is always a more relaxed approach, and just like you're gonna go put on your skates and you're just gonna skate around and do your thing, and not expect so much from yourself, not expect so much from the filming that you do, but just to let it happen. But why is that so difficult? You would think at fucking 36 that I would be able to just fucking relax.
Yeah,
and not
you said that as we're driving in the rain,
yeah.
car loaded with camera gear and trick lists, snacks, hydration, so we don't have to stop, so we can get as much time as possible. Or we might just drive around to different skate parks that have rain falling on them.
Fuck.
That's why I think at least making a podcast this is looking promising though.
Yeah.
Making a podcast was something we had in our heads too, because we did this when we went to Merritt and Hope. Just time is going by very fast these days.
Very fast.
That was 2 years ago, but I always think that's last year.
Does time go... Is it true that time goes by faster the older you get?
Feels like it.
I heard an interesting, if you look at it in terms of percentages of your life, so like a 1-year-old turning 2, that's 100% of their life that they're... Because they're 1.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's a full, that year
that it goes
is 100% of what they've lived before,
and then it goes down,
and then slowly that percentage goes down.
You know what's so crazy to me about 36 is when I thought about that I've been 18 years old twice now.
Yeah,
it's really crazy to think about that I've been 18 years since 18, and 18 such a crossroads age, because that's when you graduate high school, isn't it?
Right. Yep.
To know that you're 18 years out from that.
And you can drink liquor in Alberta when you're 18.
Yeah. You know what Alberta has? Jobs and alcohol.
Fuck yeah. What else do you need? What else do you need?
Is it still 18 years there?
For people listening, that was a quote that we were hanging out with some girls, and they were talking about how awesome Alberta is, and we were saying like, yeah, we still like BC. You know, BC's got this and that, and they said, well, Alberta has jobs and liquor. And
so
she nailed it.
You were referencing what I ended up referencing when you said.
Well,
jobs
I knew
and
what you were about to say,
but
because I knew you were gonna copy that girl. See, that's the problem with me and you doing podcasts, is there's so many inside jokes, because we can speak in like a language that probably people wouldn't even understand, because we could just reference things from like 20 years ago.
The language I have, that my sister speaks that language. It's kind of like a similar dialect to the one that we know, but maybe more rollerblading references, and then strange things like that. It's funny that things like that stick though for that long. Just if I say,
remembered that.
If I say,
it's such a ridiculous fucking quote. Like, these are the benefits of my province: jobs and alcohol. And she said it with so much conviction, you couldn't even argue with her.
I wonder if she must be in politics now, like running for.
I'm sure if jobs and alcohol were like her primary source, her
platform,
life, she's probably in a really good place right now in her life.
It's a common cycle for human beings that is kind of like life can go in that direction, you know? That's the other thing about skating. Whether you have a shitty session or not, it's important to have that other thing, because for some people it is just jobs and alcohol.
Yeah, you gotta.
Somebody's listening to this right now. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
Jobs and alcohol. Yeah, Alberta wanted to separate from Canada when Trudeau pulled out of that climate. It's so hard to follow, but
the climate treaty thing.
Yeah, Alberta wanted to become its own country, and I swear I read something. This would be amazing if Alberta and Texas combined into one country. Like they would be separate, but they would all have the same governing bodies and everything. So
Wow.
all the oil, all the shit.
Alberta's really
Oil
suffering right now.
Are they?
That strategy, they didn't diversify. Anyway.
Hey, if you watch maybe a Tourism Alberta thing, they'll show that they have lots to offer.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Isn't every town's thing is like, we have great craft beer places, coffee shops, outdoor recreational activities.
It is, like, it's hilarious that there's people that, like, their job is to promote the tourism of an area. Get people here. We got the stores, the shopping, the dining.
We're the tournament capital of Canada. Or no, the new Kamloops branding, Boldly Unscripted?
Boldly unscripted.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a plan. Just come here,
Yeah?
you know, talk to the locals.
Hey, I did
have a craft beer. Just take it by ear. Hey, want to go play golf? Yeah, let's go golfing. Yeah. Stop at a local cafe for a coffee with the boys.
Hey, I've had some Boldly Unscripted days in Kamloops.
Hey, hop on Instagram, maybe go live, talk about what you're doing.
I went to the skate park one morning, then I went for a hike with the dogs.
Ooh.
Then I went to a coffee shop later.
You didn't have any of that planned?
No,
in the morning you didn't script it out? You just...
No, I probably scripted that out. I probably had that in my mind. But it still was it could be boldly unscripted.
Yeah. Couldn't you be boldly unscripted anywhere?
Yeah, but you just need a set of words that some agency works a really long time on to come up with to say this is the thing.
Right.
If one of us won the lottery and we just spent all of it on a branding agency rebranding mushroom blading, okay guys, this is what we've come up with. And then you have like your tagline and all your different logos. The funniest part is we work in
marketing.
We know this very well.
Gotta sell shit. You can't just have a great product, Joey. You gotta tell people why it's great. You gotta communicate why the product is great so that they purchase it and experience the product.
It's not about the product. It's about the stories.
The stories that people have with the product. It's about the emotional impact that the product has.
Right now, you know, whatever happens on this skate trip, it's about the storytelling behind it.
Exactly.
On Instagram stories. We're gonna tell a story that reflects our brand and our identity today.
Find your story.
At least that's what the email said from the headquarters this morning.
Right.
Yeah.
This could be a Ford commercial. Just a couple of guys going out on a rainy day, hoping for the best.
The funniest part is this isn't the vehicle. Like if Ford picked a vehicle for us doing this, it wouldn't be the Ford Focus. Oh no, it could be because you have the kid seats in the back. So the start of the commercial would be you like dropping off the kids or something like that. You have to include the lifestyle that you're living. That stuff is interesting, but it's very separate from the skating world. It's one other thing I've found.
But it's not.
No,
the
it's
marketing
not.
side of skating fucks with you. Fucks with people.
Oh, about how skating is shown online?
Yeah, because we basically relive like videos.
Yeah.
Or look to video content as like, oh, that's the way I'm supposed to experience this thing.
It is funny that being a parent and skating, there's no companies there's no marketing or anything that reflects that. It's very separate. don't you think? I guess it's pretty badass that Julio has a company and he has 2 kids. Not that that's part of his marketing, but you know that.
Right, like that's an interesting question. In the future, will there be like a family-friendly skate brand that their marketing is targeting parents of kids that want to do the activity? Because you're right, it's like traditionally or right now the marketing, it doesn't make parents want their kid to skate at all. It's purposely targeted at the teenager. Well, not even. I mean, not that there's.
I was so
teenagers.
confused when. It's also just my experience of it, but Rain Liners announced a team and then had like a edit with really good skating.
Yeah.
That was announcing the team, but then I'm not sure. Does that do anything? And who is it marketing to? 30. Like our average age is 30 something. So is it because we have this marketing style built into us that I don't know.
It is built into us for sure.
And I guess
the cycle.
I guess the Rain thing is more about what we're doing. It's just about some kind of a strange ritual that like, okay, we're gonna pick some people to represent this product. There's gonna be a really good edit, and there's no way you can actually measure if Rain is going to sell more liners to a bunch of 30-year-olds because of that edit. It's that marketing to 14-year-olds, that shit works really well.
Well, it's funny, like it's marketing credibility in the industry and not really marketing their product. Like it didn't really. I guess everyone was skating Rain liners, but you couldn't even really. Could you see them, or I don't know. How do you?
Credibility, yeah, that's true.
It wasn't promoting the benefits of the liner, like this liner is the most comfortable, this liner lasts the longest, or anything like that. It was just like showing badass skating with the T-shirt.
Oh, did they all have the T-shirt on?
Well, I don't know if they all had the T-shirt, but probably some of them had the T-shirt. I don't know.
I looked at it as that
brand recognition.
It's been cool to see what happened with Intuition, and there is no team.
Exactly.
There is no specific edit release where people are wearing.
It's a great product.
It's a really good product.
Yeah.
Nobody believed us for the first while too. It took other people using it word of mouth.
It took a little while, but they're pretty successful now. Just because you can't deny the product. That's why.
A lot of the best skating that's happened in the past couple of years, like are a lot of edits that have stood out. Not like the best skating, but people who have stood out in edits have been using that liner. And it seems like their vision of skating has become more defined when using this product, especially for that ninja-ish microblading, small movements type skating.
Yeah, it does improve style because your skates react to your movements better.
I know, and that's such a weird thing to think about with the liner. Responsiveness. What's up?
I'm wondering I might get something to eat at A&W.
Leon would be happy.
Yeah, I'm gonna get something to eat at A&W since I haven't eaten anything.
Oh, you're gonna need to.
Yes.
Another lesson I've had lately about skate sessions is energy conservation, hydration, nutrition. Sometimes there's so much excitement that you don't take a break.
I get so excited to skate that I'm not hungry. It's hard for me to eat. Okay.
The chances of the skate park being dry is
Probably
zero.
Zero. Yeah, we'll go look at it.
Well, yeah, we'll
Go
look
eat
at
breakfast. Do you want it? Are you gonna order anything?
it. Yeah, and I can get it.
What are you gonna get?
Bacon and egg or English muffin. What are you gonna get?
Yeah, that sounds good. A hash brown. They got good hash browns here.
Yeah, probably hash brown. Yeah, probably.
And I am gonna probably get a coffee here.
This coffee is not good.
It isn't very good.
It's
No,
coffee flavored water, but I'll.
Hello, could we please get 2 bacon and egger combos?
An English muffin and a seeded bun.
Do you want English
muffin? Yeah.
Both on English muffins.
Alright, and what to drink with those?
Coffees.
Small, medium, or large?
Large, please.
Alright, and any cream or sugar in them?
No,
Just
thank you.
black is fine.
Just black for both of them?
Yep,
Anything else?
that's it.
15, 10 in the window.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I am open to having my mind changed though. It
I
was a
know,
long time ago, and I remember so clearly that it was like I was
Really
just
bad.
drinking like somebody had put a coffee tea bag in a big glass of hot water.
I feel like it's because that's how old people like it, and they're like trying to please the old. Because A&W is
That's
kind of
right.
like an old person.
What are they gonna do though? Because they need to switch that up pretty soon.
They
They're
do?
gonna
Because
lose some
everyone's
of
gonna
this
die.
popu-
They gotta switch it up.
It is pretty cool that when you go into an A&W, there's lots of just old people hanging out drinking coffee. That
Yeah,
they
it's all
they
old
go
people.
for the old diner style,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Their burgers are good though.
Really good food. Really good food. And I do like the vibe of A&W. It's very like, it's uncool.
Which I think is becoming more important
It's
as we go on.
it's just pleasant.
It's just- it is. Look at the faces on the burger
Yeah,
family.
the mama burger, the papa burger.
Very 50s style. Font and everything.
Yeah. Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. Or it might actually be interesting to hear the crinkling of the bag and everything. I can cut this if we need to.
Okay. It's okay because I was probably least excited about skating this park.
Me too. I wanted to get a couple things. Like I wrote, there's that long ledge.
Yeah.
Like I wrote down on it like topsoil across it. But even if I was trying it in the moment, in my head I would be like, the only reason I'm trying this is because I wrote it on my fucking
I
list.
wrote it
And
on my stupid list. I wrote down front side on that.
See, that's smarter. Because you probably could have got that quite quickly.
Topsoil would be tough.
I don't know what it looks like. I only had that one picture. Does it have a tap?
It does.
Yeah, it looked like a weird curved short wall ride thing with it's got coping on the edge of it.
I think so. Yeah, it's weird.
But the two bumps and the spine, pretty much
That
I
looked
wanted
cool,
to just get
yeah.
a couple things on that and then go to the next spot.
Yeah.
But this is so close that we'll be able to skate it next year.
Yeah.
Or not at all. It was funny when we would go out to the lake, my dorky skating side. Even if I don't have my skates, I still want to be like, can we stop at Chase and look at the skate
Go
park?
look at it. There's something you gotta look at the skate park. You
do.
gotta go check it out.
You walk around,
Yeah.
look at some stuff,
Yeah.
start sizing it up. And then you put
exciting.
your skates on and it feels nothing like how you imagine skating in your head, even though you've done it so many times.
You have to prepare for that. You have to prepare for the
Something about
skating feeling.
something
It's not
about
as easy.
Sycamoose is usually pretty good to go in how I remember that park feeling and everything. That's one of my favorites
Thank you.
on the list. Something about Salmon Arm
There'll just be a couple more seconds.
Thank you.
doesn't click with me as much. Do you want me to take this?
Sure.
Something about Salmon Arm is like stumps me.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Something about the layout. It's a
Yeah.
strange layout.
And we have Merritt and Salmon Arm are almost related to me, like where it's a really new park with a lot of nice stuff to grind, but there's something about those shittier ones that are more interesting.
Yeah. You gotta just focus on your objects.
Yeah. Let me tell you. And Armstrong's always fun, but same kind of thing. I wanted to go to these parks because of the, I don't know, there's a tradition there that we've been skating Sicamous for since 2002? 3.
When was the first time we skated
Okay
Sicamous?
Buddy. Around Okay Buddy was when it was fairly new. There's footage. There's
what about-
Armstrong and Sicamous footage in Okay Buddy, but not in How to Be Unpopular.
Not in How to Be Unpopular.
No, because the skateboard boom was coming off of the 90s and into the early 2000s. Tony Hawk Pro Skater and all that shit was early 2000s. So I think Sicamous was just being built around 2000.
Okay.
Or it may have been there, but we hadn't really
Discovered it.
started that. It was a very important part of our skating experience
Thank you.
to check out all these little weird parks that were being built all around BC because of the skateboard boom of the early 2000s. And even from the first session, Sicamous was still... I know anybody from Vancouver who's listening to this is rolling their eyes. Oh, they're going to that fucking park again. That's the point. It's a special
fun park.
place. It's for rollerblading. It's so good. It has a few ground rails, different size ledges, steep banks for lots of speed, a classic like NISS fun box but low, some nice launches, and then that one long ledge on the side. It's great.
It's got it all.
Oh, and a pyramid.
It's got everything you need. Yeah.
You can do some spins, some grabs. And Merritt is another one where we've gone there and we filmed there. We haven't used a lot. In 2016 we did.
That park is actually really good. Its biggest downfall is that it's really close to a busy road.
Yeah.
So it's hard to vibe there.
You're right.
It's distracting. But if that same layout was like at Sicamous or Salmon Arm or somewhere, away from a busy road, it's
I
important.
always forget about that. That really came through when I was editing Zone because no music use. That some of the shittier sessions were in louder places close to roads.
Yeah.
That focus and concentration is way more difficult.
I think this is...
This way? Are you thinking of Rayleigh?
No, I think this is wrong, actually. I didn't go far enough.
Special thanks to... Wasn't there like Kraft Dinner sponsored this? Or something? Or were they trying to... The Kraft Just Play project? Where your community has a project in mind and they vote on
For the skate park?
funding towards. Yeah, wasn't there a certain amount of money donated by the Kraft Corp?
I don't know.
Kraft isn't the corporation, but
Maybe. Some kind of
Whoa.
contest.
nice handicap rail. There's some stuff to skate here.
This is the one.
So when you saw this, did you stop and chase on the way back from going to the shoe swap?
No, we drove here. There's a really nice beach park
Oh,
down
over there.
this road.
I've never been to that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
That walkway thing that they built was cool though.
Yeah. Here's the park, nice and wet.
Nice and wet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think I would have been topsoiling that. Shit. Looks so fun. I had torque swivel written down for the hump.
Shit. Yeah, it's a nice hump.
We can look at it and eat.
Yeah. pic.
Take a pic.
That was really fun looking at a wet skate park.
Yeah. Check out the picture
Yeah.
on Instagram. The wet skate park we just visited. We're just telling our story. We're just telling stories that reflect our brand
Exactly.
and our lifestyle. We said 0% chance though, and that prediction was correct.
Yeah.
So I think Salmon Arm is also a 0%.
I feel
chance.
like around noon it'll turn around.
Okay.
That's my prediction based on what I saw on Apple Weather.
I was checking multiple places just
Yeah,
to
me
give
too.
myself more hope.
I've been obsessing over the weather all week.
Again, similar to expectations that can result in a depressing feeling.
Do you get nervous before, like a couple days before, if you know that you have a session planned? Do you get like nervous?
I'll get a quick little blast, like a 1 or 2, like the cop siren blast, like if a cop was about, or if you saw a police car,
yeah.
it's like a little anxious
shot.
blast,
A little
like
espresso shot of anxiety.
a little fight or flight.
Yeah.
Quick little fight or flight. But no, it's more recently it's just a really strange, because I've been doing skating for so long, it's this strange ramp up on the day. Like it's usually 2 or 3 hours before this weird ramp up of energy, where similar to you, it's pretty simple to not eat or drink anything, because I try and hydrate, but everyone more for
It's also
the trips were really bad. The trips were getting really, really, really bad. Like Prove Yourself 3, Zone, and then the attempted sequel to Zone. Like so much pressure. Like making sure, like the route, the weather, the gear. Gotta have the gear, and just that same feeling of like, fuck, is this weird that I'm doing this again?
I like having something in my life that makes me nervous like that.
Yeah.
It's like that feeling of, because it is uncomfortable, but I've come to realize that it's your body just getting ready for something.
Yeah.
Like your body's like ramping up, and it's like that nervous energy.
Bonus points if you take a big poop.
Yeah, big shit, definitely.
Fight or flight.
I find I always like, even before exercise, like if I know I'm gonna exercise, I'll have to poop.
That's a good thing though.
My body will get like,
Just
it's
knows.
getting ready. It's like in Grizzly Man when the bears are fighting and they shit.
I still want Werner Herzog to narrate one of our videos one day. Just like objectively go through whatever footage he wants and then just craft a Werner Herzog narrative around it. Because he would have some interesting insights on
Definitely.
why we are doing it from his perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, fight or flight. It's you should take a healthy poop though. If it's like sickly diarrhea poop, then that's not, something's off there.
A well-formed log is what you're suggesting.
Which is alcohol is not going to do you any favors in that department.
No. A hot beer shit.
Oh.
A beer shit.
Oh. It's amazing how much of the younger skating days is hungover.
A lot of it. I skated pretty good hungover. There was a certain energy, but I don't think it was because of the alcohol. I just think it was because of having like really good times the night before and all like the laughing.
Oh yeah.
Like the laugh therapy.
Yep.
And then it overrode the negative effects of the alcohol because your soul was just like
Yeah,
so
that's true.
released from all the laughing. Like I've had nights where I didn't sleep, but I just laughed so much and I felt fine the next day.
That's true. It's very healthy to laugh a lot.
Yeah.
As the sign says, live, laugh, love.
Live, love, laugh.
Or is it live, love, laugh?
Live, love, laugh. It's a good combination of items. If you can do those three things.
The sign has become a meme and a joke, but it is good advice.
It's great advice. Yeah. Simple.
I think there's one of those in our house. Possibly. No, I don't know. No, there might be one at the lake or something like that.
It's a good reminder.
Live, love, laugh? In that order? Yeah. Because if you laugh before you love, that's not good. It's not the best order.
Well, living kind of encompasses all three items, right?
Living is
you can't
the
really
most.
help but live unless you're just dead.
Living is the most important. You have to be alive.
To love and to laugh.
Yeah.
Maybe you love a lot more once you stop living. Maybe living is like a barrier to... You get glimpses of love,
Oh, yeah.
but true love only happens when you're not living.
Maybe we're here just to learn how to love in the end. I was thinking about this. If I went away for 2 or 3 weeks, and if you just meditated and all that shit, and you had it all figured out, you'd still have to come back into just a normalizing filter of life.
Yeah.
The practical has become so much more important these days in my mind.
Well, that's the thing is like, yeah, meditation's great, but you need to learn how to meditate in chaos. You need to be able to embrace like the noise of life. Because if you're just meditating all the time, then you're just hiding from stress and from stimulus. It's good to learn how to... I think we get addicted to stimulus.
Oh, yeah.
So it's good to like painfully subject yourself to the nothingness and to just like
really good.
force yourself. It's so weird how it's so hard to just sit and not look at anything, not listen to anything.
Skating has a bit of that, though. Like, you can kind of tap into that a little bit.
That quieting of everything.
Yeah.
In a different way. I think it's similar, but it's in a totally different medium. Like it's...
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah.
It's high stimulus, but it's still tuning out a lot of... tuning out your thoughts, focusing on one thing.
Miguel articulated it quite well.
Really
on
well.
the Jump Street podcast.
Yeah, I really liked that episode.
Yeah, his was really good. Isn't it awesome? Because one of the big reasons that you don't like doing... I don't like it too. Skype podcasts are really, really annoying.
Really hard.
And the fact that we have one now where people do it in person all the time
it's
is
so much
really
better.
good.
Yeah.
You get there's so much more of the connection and camaraderie that comes through
Yeah.
in person.
Skype is so difficult. Yeah, it's awesome that they're doing a podcast in New York, so there's always people coming through.
And people with credentials.
Yeah. History.
People with the inside scoop. I just hope they keep it going, because I know the amount of work that they're putting into that thing's pretty impressive.
It's extremely impressive. Holy shit. I'm
That's a
loving it.
lot of work.
Yeah.
Because I love the 9 Club, and I know I'm pretty sure it's directly inspired by it. It's gotta be. I guess not.
There's a lot of
podcasts. That's true.
I don't know if it's inspired by the 9 Club, but I would love to have a setup like that. Holy shit.
Yeah, do you ever...
But doing it from Kamloops just doesn't make any sense. 'Cause, like,
You would just have to be like
you'd have this really nice
millionaire.
studio, and no one would ever come.
Eventually, people will be able to hologram in, and
Yeah.
data will become a lot better. But that's in the far, far, far future.
Yeah.
I was reflecting on if I had just a lot of money, what I would do with skating, and that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Is I would there'd be like a studio space where podcasting, filming stuff, and editing would all happen. It would be in Kamloops. And it would just be this little space. All of the skating shit could be there. Like no more skating shit in the garage. Like all of the skating world is just in this one spot.
That would be dope.
And then I don't know if
We would fly people out to be on the podcast.
Yeah, I always think about if my 9 to 5 that I do right now was just going to that place. Like if I paid myself out the same amount of money, or I had so much money that I didn't have to worry about it, that's what I would do. It would just be edits, podcasts, and it wouldn't really be a company so much as it would be just a place where you go to make stuff. It would be, I guess, the mushroom blading headquarters. I don't know.
The office.
Tinkering. Yeah, it would be yeah. It would just be exactly what I do now, but
Going to work.
slightly more interesting. I do like my job now, but yeah, I hope they keep that going.
Definitely. Yeah, it's awesome.
I think they're gonna be at Woodward, so I think Leon said he was gonna be at that, what year is it, event?
Yeah.
I hope Leon goes on. I love both their voices too are really good. The way they speak, like very classic New York accents.
Yeah, their voices sound so good.
It reflects
They
their
got
skating
accents.
style too.
Yeah.
And how many? There's 7 or 8 podcasts now, or 10
It's
or
a
9.
lot.
Or I love that. Like if you haven't skated, you can still listen to and think about it. And it's amazing how when people tell. I was joking about stories earlier from a branding and marketing perspective. But when somebody actually tells a skating story about their history, though, it's very visceral sometimes. Like you can really feel what they're talking about,
Yeah.
and it gets you stoked to just do a soul grind or
Gets you really stoked.
I don't know what that is. It sometimes may sound strange, but it gives me the feeling of watching when you watched a skate video when you were younger.
Yeah.
You just had a general feeling that you wanted to go out and skate. I get that from podcasts.
Yeah, me too.
It's weird.
Big time.
Like the
Yeah.
Cesar Mora one got me so excited to just, not that I'm good at airing, but like to air a quarter pipe.
It can almost help you connect with your own memories
Yeah,
and your own life.
definitely.
Because we've all had similar experiences growing up skating, so it just brings you back to those certain moments.
I love when I hear in other human movement device activities, they say the thing like, yeah, what other thing could you travel around the world and meet up with people that do the same thing as you and sleep on the floor? And I'm thinking, yeah, there's a lot of them. There's like
There's a
6
bunch.
or 7 of them. There isn't just one of them.
Yeah.
There's nothing else like it in the
There's
world.
nothing else like it.
Yeah, there's a
few.
There's a bunch of them.
There's a few things.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. And they're all real. They're all real, Joey, to the people that do them.
Yeah, if we can just understand that real, recognize real.
Exactly.
Because in this situation, a lot of times real doesn't recognize real.
Like if it wasn't real, we wouldn't be doing this.
It's funny that you can also be doing an activity that's not real to other activities, but within that activity, not be real to the people within that. Like, rollerblading isn't a real activity to other action sports, but within rollerblading, there's certain people who rollerblade who don't do real rollerblading.
Right. There's levels of real.
And then there's some dudes who are quote-unquote the realest dudes out there.
Whoa.
One of the realest badass,
The
dude.
ultimate reel.
I've always wanted to make. Have you seen This Is Spinal Tap?
Yeah.
There's
Long time ago.
so much to make fun of in action sports, in that like mockumentary style. If it was done really well,
Yeah.
because a lot of it is so absurd and so ridiculous. There's a lot of parts that are great, but then there's a lot of the like how big it got and how serious some people take it, and it's really not as serious or as important as a lot of people think it is.
Yeah.
There's always people who will do heroic feats on these things
On anything.
and be amazing, but sometimes the pedestals and the structures are really funny. Like I posted Vans there. Have you heard on the VF Corp site? I'll read you what Vans is. We should just copy this and have it on the front page of Mushroom Blading. Okay. Connecting with youth culture to promote creative self-expression, authenticity, and progression, while linking deep roots in action sports with art, music, and street culture.
A lot of thought went into that. A lot of iterations. A lot of additions. That's well sculpted. Wow.
Yeah, if you want to have your hands in everything, just say that out loud.
Jesus. It is funny that like they sculpted that so well, but they're describing something that's so boldly unscripted.
It's true. It's true. I'm fucking wearing some right now because they're like the official older dad office shoes that, you know, they're
Really comfortable.
yeah.
It's a good product. They make great shoes.
They're just these and Converse and a couple other shoes you can get away with wearing at an office, and they just are kind of accepted. You don't have to wear dress shoes, but
Yeah.
it is funny that their market share is so wide that way. Like they do have their little fingers and everything. BMX snuck in there too, somehow.
Shoe companies are kind of like soft drink companies, and not like
Yeah, it's the way that it's your feelings around the product, the feelings that you have attached to the product. Right?
the way they market them.
Did you ever watch American Movie?
American movie.
Yeah, with like the Fubar-ish guy who's making a horror movie called Coven.
Oh, that sounds so familiar.
There's just a really
a
good
long time ago I saw this. Yeah.
one of the best Coke and Pepsi rants ever, that he really likes Pepsi. Like he was going through a fast food drive-through and talking about how he hates places that have Coke and that he loves Pepsi. And it was one of the few times I heard a really good defense. Somebody who really liked Pepsi, because it's usually that people like Coke. Isn't it?
Usually, I think Coke is the more popular soft drink.
It's classic.
Is it based
Coke
on the
Plus.
flavor?
I
Or is
think
it based on the marketing? Or both, I guess.
I did the taste test when I was young. Did you ever do that? And I think I liked Pepsi better when I did the blind taste test. But in terms of marketing and branding, Coca-Cola is so integrated into family events, Christmas, everything. Like, and
It's so funny. It's a drink.
when you say
It's a sugary, bad for you fucking drink.
it's almost black.
And but yet the logo and the branding is so important to what they do. It's more important than the recipe.
Yeah,
It's pretty fucked up.
it's everywhere too. You'll see Coca-Cola signs in the weirdest
fucking
places.
everywhere around the world. It's global.
Down the weirdest, weird side streets in Mexico, when it's like painted on a wall.
Yeah. fuck, yeah. It's creepy, man.
It's one of the best examples, though, of how marketing and branding, the emotions and feelings that somebody have attached to a logo and a brand and a color. Yeah, Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola Classic.
It's one of the things that people say, like if you have your little headset and you're doing a keynote. Coca-Cola, Starbucks, Apple. It's one of those ones that you say in that group.
Yeah, where is marketing going?
It's a good question.
Because it's so...
And it's all... A lot of it is defined by the upcoming generation that grew up with the internet. Like, kids born in 2000 onward get the balls kind of in their court on what they want to make. That they're way harder to market to than we were. We were a lot easier to market to. It was a slower
we ate it all
trickle.
up. We ate it all up, yeah. We actually watched TV.
Magazines.
Yeah.
Again, with the skate video, it's also, I think, I love the medium so much for how interesting it was when I first discovered it, that it wasn't television,
Yeah.
which was really big. So it was a way you could find out about different music and see different parts of the United States, sometimes the world. It was such like an interesting, such an exciting thing to get.
Very exciting.
Probably more exciting than anything else in my life at that time. Like getting a new skate video in the mail was the best.
Actually, yeah, that was the most exciting thing in your life.
That could happen.
Yeah.
In the kind of like 14 or 13 to 18 range, then
Yeah.
there's like alcohol and driving, and those things weren't as exciting as getting a skate video, but they dulled it a little bit more.
Pretty exciting.
Although, still, I think maybe Leading the Blind was the last really big one that I remember. Like, really powerful experience. Rain Fear Gone, though, by far was one of the, like,
Yeah, that's intense.
super unforgettable.
So intense.
Words took a while for me. It didn't fully click until like a year later, I think.
Yeah.
When you said you were gonna, what was it? Because Words came out in the winter time, and you weren't gonna watch it until the summer.
Until the summer.
And you were gonna, and your
So I
goal.
could save my juice.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get juiced in the winter.
Didn't want to ruin the video.
That's painful when you get a new video in the winter and you're so stoked and you can't even go skate.
It's always when they come out though, because it's a good time to sell something, and they've been working on it over the summer. You gave in though.
I did. I had to just watch
It's
it.
good to have something to hold on to over the winter.
I also said I was going to learn how to do the splits.
Oh yeah, that's right. Was that
was
after
gonna
watching Words?
Yeah, I was going to stretch every day and do the splits.
How far did
by
you get?
summer? Not very far. No.
Guys, it's harder for us to do the splits the way our hips are built.
This shit is
Then-
hard
The ladies, their hips are more designed to...
to stretch like that.
I think we're more likely to do the side. What's it called where it's your front leg is out and your back leg, like instead of your legs going the Van Damme way, we're more likely to do the splits the straight
the other way.
I think. Yeah. I could just be talking out of my ass though. So it's looking like Salmon Arm is definitely 0%, which is
Yeah,
okay.
it's looking rough
I was probably least excited for this part.
for this one.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm mostly excited for the last two.
Yeah, which is
So even if
this might work. This might work. Seminar I like, but
It's a
more
fun park. It's really common. Like, it's really traditional.
no graffiti.
Fuck that no graffiti bullshit. That really
It
takes
feels
away from the
really plain
experience.
when I skate it.
Yeah.
It's lacking that inspiration that I like in a skate park space.
It's less gritty
Yeah.
and unique. That's what's so awesome about Sycamoose is it's older.
Older, weather-beaten, grippy cement,
Yeah.
weird ass skate park design. Those banks would be terrifying on a skateboard.
They would. Shit. Really steep and really whippy at the bottom.
But one of a kind. Outside of Enderby. Enderby has whippy banks.
Yeah.
I love shitty weird skate park designs from the early 2000s.
Something about the pavement at Sycamoose too, like it's wet, it's aged in such a good way.
It's somewhere between smooth but a little bit of grip.
Yeah. It seems like the new parks, the way the concrete is poured, it doesn't age well. Like, it cracks over time instead of like getting drippier. Do you notice that?
Yeah.
Like
People don't know, but Kamloops is not as nice in some spots as it looks on camera.
yeah, there's a few parts that are really damaged.
Yeah. There's one part that it's almost borderline. I'm not sure if you could drop in on that quarter pipe and get through that chunky stuff on a skateboard.
Yeah,
You
it's
might
really
get caught
bad.
up.
Are they gonna fix that?
It's a good question.
They better. That's bullshit.
It's hard for us to. You can't really capture that stuff on camera either. You sometimes just have to be an attentive listener when you're viewing the video to know that there's rough cement.
Yeah.
That's such like a core thing, hey, when you skate a spot with really rough cement.
There's places
not
in
fun,
the
though.
world where the pavement isn't rough ever,
perfect.
because it never fucking rains and it never snows.
The two skate parks I was most excited for today and tomorrow are the most weather-beaten and old. Hope and Sycamoose. Armstrong's fairly old. We skated that park when it was brand new.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy. Remember when you and Mason made me 540 the flat, and I was so mad at you guys, and then I did it, but then I fell, and then I was even more mad.
The pyramid?
At Armstrong, it was like Mason really wanted me to 540 to the flat. He knew I could do it, and I know I could, but I was already mad that he wanted me to do it. But then I wanted to prove that I could, but then I fell. Oh, it's good to have people to push you like that, though. I got to drop a 540 to flat. I had that written down at Sycamoose in the Wizards, like carve the bank, and then I would start with just doing a nice 540 over the pyramid.
Yeah.
Maybe 540. It's a good one to do to flat, that pyramid,
Yeah, it is.
because there's a lot of landing space.
Yeah. It's a good size to gap to the flat.
Did you have any aerial tricks written down for the pyramid?
For that pyramid?
Yeah.
No. Just stuff out of the bank.
Nothing. Oh yeah, the bank.
I don't think I had anything for that pyramid.
I had a couple out of there too. Damn. It's coming down.
It's really raining.
10, 11. Okay. It's 1 o'clock is apparently the clear up point. Do those adventure parks look fun to you?
What is at these adventure parks?
Are you gonna do that as a family, where you're on like the harness and you're walking across stuff that's high up.
Is it?
It's by the Enchanted Forest. There's like a, I think it's called Sky Trek.
Sky Trek, and you walk.
You have a helmet and a harness, and you're walking on things that are high up.
No, that doesn't sound fun at all.
What about?
I'm not gonna do that.
Have you ziplined before?
Ziplining's fun.
I didn't enjoy it.
No.
No, it was very quiet. I think I had to get up really early and didn't eat before,
Yeah.
and was with a group who was so excited to go ziplining, and then made me less excited. It was kind of fun.
Ziplining is a pretty cool feeling. It's like flying.
Yeah, none of that stuff clicked with me.
No, not into ziplining.
Even in adventure class in high school, like when we would go rock climbing and kayaking and stuff, they felt so limited. I'll have to try
I guess
again.
When you're used to skating, I mean, skating really trumps all that bullshit.
Kayaking was so weird that your legs are stuffed together in this thing, and then you have a paddle, so your arms, again, like the biking thing, if you were to green screen out the device, how funny some of these sports would look. Kayaking would look super funny, like somebody sitting in a river with their legs sticking straight forward, not
Straight
moving,
forward.
and then their back sticking straight up, so they're a 90-degree angle with their arms just waving. I guess it's the correct device for being in whitewater. I'm surprised they haven't designed some kind of like a free body suit that you go in whitewater with. Like the wingsuit of whitewater.
For water.
Where you have more freedom of movement.
It's funny. All these things. It's what you're used to. That it makes you. It gives you a certain perspective on it. Like when you're used to skating and you're used to having all that freedom with your body.
Yeah.
Then you really notice the restrictions, but other people wouldn't really feel that. They're just like, I'm in a boat vehicle with my legs stuffed in here.
I remember Mason one day saying, I was watching a promo on the Extreme Sports channel, and there was a kayaker going over a waterfall doing a mute grab on his kayak. And he was so disgusted by that. I think we both were disgusted. I mean, it's pretty bad that we, as rollerblading, we took grabs from, like, we don't have to grab our boots, but doing it on a kayak is like reaching
Wow.
across your kayak.
Well, doing anything expressive in a kayak, it's like, what are you doing?
And if there's any
Just
kayakers
operate
listening,
the fucking thing.
yeah,
Like it's not an artistic thing.
I am sounding very close-minded right now.
But just in terms of like expressive movement,
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm coming from.
your whole lower body is in a big tube.
And all that said, I do think that the Latimer speech at the end of Brain for Gone is still not... I ate it up when I was younger, but I don't believe that rollerblading is the be-all, end-all expressive art form. It's just a really good one.
It's a really
not-
good one, yeah. There's definitely other ones that are good. In terms of expression,
It's really
probably the most expressive, which is why a lot of people don't like it.
Well, yeah,
Because
there's
they're really uncomfortable with it. People love their restrictions. People love
Yeah.
to like have a uniform and hold a stick and have things that limit their movement so that they can stay in a safe little roll. People love their rolls. Freedom's scary for people. That's what skating is. Freedom. It's insane freedom. It's if you compare it to skateboarding biking, snowboarding, even skiing. It's the most
Oh yeah, it
free
has the
in
most
terms
room
of-
for error in terms of style and wackiness, and that's what makes it good though.
yeah.
It's stuck.
It's the most
with me.
mockable.
Oh yeah.
It can be the most embarrassing.
What was the quote from the dude that stuck with me for the longest time? No man, I just can't have skates on without holding onto a hockey stick.
Yeah.
Didn't the guy say that to you?
Yeah.
Fuck. That just captures so much, that one statement.
It's like, what do I do with all this freedom? It just makes me uncomfortable. I don't know how to hold my limbs.
Lack of parasitic movement. And it is funny that good style to some is not moving your arms at all.
It can look really
No
dope.
arm movement. Nothing. If it became really popular to put your arms to sleep before a skate session, so you had really good style, like you injected them with something so they couldn't move.
Paralyze your arms.
Like
Inject
your
Botox
soyels would
into
look
them.
so good if your arms were just asleep. You could only move your chest, your head, and your legs, but your arms just stayed low. Such good style.
Such good stuff.